We'd like to welcome everyone who traveled from near and far, distance and time. Families, good friends, people who've been around so long they were actually at our wedding. Steve and Peggy, Artie and Terry, my sister Laura, Joan, Ed, Billy, Chris, and Kate. And of course all of the Applin family and friends, some of whom were at their wedding. Jenny, Claire, Mary Beth, Richard, and Tom. Some of these remarks may seem a little rushed or rough, so apologies. We only had 5 years' notice that this day would happen. It was about 4.5 years ago that David and Jeannie and Connie and I were on the rooftop bar at the Red Hat in Irvington, in which it was mentioned that it was way too soon to jump to any conclusions about whether Maeve and James would get married, but that it sure would be nice. Maeve and James, for once, we may have been way ahead of you. The Red Hat has since become a place for Applin Redcliffe summits, including the time the waiter spilled a martini on Dave, which resulted in free desserts for the table. James, take note. Good strategy. But seriously, we love the Applins. They're just a wonderful family, and we are so happy that our kids brought us together. As for Maeve, she knows what she's getting into, and she passed the equivalent of the Baltimore Colts quiz in the movie Diner. She pretended to enjoy pizzaing down a ski slope in Michigan one winter, but then it always is a challenge to ski on what in the summer is essentially a dune. She laughed when a waiter brought a bottle of champagne from the Alpens, and she was honest about not enjoying the 3.5-mile dune climb in Michigan on a hot summer's day. But at least she wore shoes, which is more than my sister and I did one scorching day years ago. We figured the sand couldn't get that hot. So now Maeve can be part of a family that thinks of Liam Neeson's Taken as a Christmas movie. I believe you, but that won't save you. As for James, he's always passed every test. He's the best son any dad could hope for. From Little League and assorted AAU basketball teams to Grand Island trail runs, there comes a time when coaching duties are mutual or he is coaching you, which, as Bill Murray said in Caddyshack, is nice. James writes a very good beer blog and is someone who's the author of countless thoughtful moments, gestures, and gifts, not to mention funny jokes and Punderdome-level puns. I don't have a pun here, just an indisputable note that we are proud of you and always will be. Sometimes, usually with the Smiths and the Johnson Tebows, we have gone to Mohawk Mountain House in upstate New York, where we eat enormous amounts of food for 18 hours of the day and then tell ourselves we are walking it all off on various winding hikes through the woods. Really winding. I think Winnie may still be at Lake Minnewaska, which I swore was only a 40-minute stroll away. These walks do prove the value of a good map. Where is the Barnacle Trail anyway? And here are your own maps, so you'll always find your way home and to each other.
Welcome to all of James and Maeve's friends. Steve and I were just at a newspaper reunion, and we were reminded that good friends are one of the best things in life. And a quick word about the sisters. James has two, Maeve has two. All four of them are terrific. You will be hearing We Are Family later in the evening. I have 3 short stories. The first is about Maeve, and when I really decided she was the one for me. We were at James's graduation from Bates in May 2013. I'd stopped to look at his photo among a sea of photos after the ceremony. Everyone was walking a bit ahead of me. I was crying again, which my children will tell you was nothing new. Maeve happened to turn around, and I heard her say to James, "You should go walk with your mom." I might have married her at that very moment myself. The next is about James. It was spring 2012, and he and Maeve had been going out for several months. James had been working hard to get a summer job at an outdoor adventure company called Overland. He got the job. Then we get a phone call from James, who now wanted to stay home for the summer. It seems there was this girl. I remember being on the phone with him and saying, "Honey, if she's the right one, 8 weeks isn't going to kill the romance." He said, "We don't go to school in the same place, Mom. We need to spend some time together this summer so we can know if this is the real thing." He wasn't swayed. Larchmont it was, and here we are. I think of this as James choosing love over a summer job. Steve says it was James giving up a chance to get Lyme disease. Story number 3. Maeve was at our house for dinner. I don't know exactly when because we eat and drink all the time and the days get a little confusing. Maeve has extremely good manners and is always very complimentary about the food served. Most mothers, especially those raised in the Midwest by good cooks like Joan, love to receive compliments for their food. So when she said how wonderful everything was and how full she was, I thought that was the end of the compliment. But then she uttered the words that endeared her to me forever. "I think I'm going to have to unbutton my pants." We have noticed that Maeve and James share the same great qualities. They are both loyal, compassionate, funny, thoughtful, smart, driven, and engaged in the world around them. They share the right party affiliation, they love their families and each other, and they dance well together. What we see in them, they have found in each other. We love you both. To James and Maeve.
So before we toast to the bride and groom, let's raise a glass to the Redcliffe and Applin parents. Thank you so much. Cheers. It's an incredibly special feeling to have so many of the people we love in one place to celebrate James and Maeve. And to those who can't be with us today, and to those who have passed, especially our grandparents, we miss you and wish you could be here. Now, if we could just have 20 to 30 minutes of your time. Anna and I have spent the last 6 months composing a musical about James and Maeve's love story. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Kick. Just kidding. We would never do that to you. Thank you. For the past 20 years, we've tirelessly groomed James to be the perfect partner. It didn't really take much, though, because honestly, he has always been the most empathetic, kind, and generous guy we know. We did have to remind him to put the toilet seat down once or twice. You're welcome, ladies. Growing up, we wondered what lucky woman he would end up with. We are absolutely sure all of our hard work paid off. Maeve exceeds our expectations. She's funny, caring, and unapologetically enthusiastic. We couldn't be more fortunate that James and Maeve found each other. From the very beginning, James and Maeve have had a history of going out of their way to do thoughtful things for each other. It's been a true partnership from day one. It all started in December 2011 when Maeve boldly asked James over Skype to go to her sorority formal while he was still in Argentina. James made an equally grand gesture, spending his first day back to the States going from tailor to tailor to ensure he had pants that fit just right so that he could get low on the dance floor. Apparently Argentinian cuisine is not great for the waistline. The new pants paid off though. Maeve was impressed with James, and James thought that Maeve's dance moves were better than any Argentinian flamenco dancers. It was clear to everyone that James and Maeve were smitten with each other.
They managed to spend time together during the holiday season and even met each other's families. Connie, not to steal your thunder, but one of the first times the Redcliffes met Maeve, we shared a large meal around our dining room table. And Maeve made an excellent impression when she announced that she would probably have to unbutton her pants. Sorry, Maeve, so sorry. James knew that kind of woman was too good to let go, and we all agreed. So when Maeve went abroad to Denmark for the spring semester, James bought a plane ticket to visit her during spring break. Their journey together has been going strong ever since. Over the past few years, their gestures may not have always been quite as grand, but they're not any less significant. From James taking up yoga, eating more salads with increasing enthusiasm, and perfecting his modern dancing, to Maeve becoming an excellent beer photographer and even trying out jogging, they spend their days supporting each other and falling even more in love along the way. It has been an absolute joy to watch. James and Maeve, as long as you continue to do both the little and big things for each other throughout your marriage, we know love, laughter, and joy will always surround you. We are so lucky and grateful to share so many of these special moments with you, and we can't wait for all of the adventures to come. James, you're truly the best brother we could ever ask for. And Maeve, we can't wait to officially have you as our sister. We can't imagine a better couple, and we love you both endlessly. Let's raise a glass to James and Maeve.
From the Applin family. First of all, we thank the Redcliffs for tonight. What a wonderful gathering. We'll toast Maeve and James tomorrow night. But I do want to say one important thing. The Hill family in Chappaqua is very close to us. And for years we've had feasts and wonderful dinners that always end up in dancing. And we've called them Haplins. Tomorrow night, it will not be a Haplin. We've decided it's going to be a Retta Haplin. which is our greatest compliment. Thank you.
A map of the world. One of the ancient maps of the world is heart-shaped, carefully drawn, and once washed with bright colors, though the colors have faded, as you might expect feelings to fade from a fragile old heart, the brown map of a life. But feeling is indelible, and longing infinite, a starburst compass pointing in all the directions two lovers might go, a fresh breeze swelling their sails, the future uncharted, still far from the edge where the sea pours into the stars.
I know that Becca and Anna kind of threatened everyone with a musical number. I think I'll do one worse. I'm actually here to sing. But I think this is a very nice song that encapsulates a lot of how James and Maeve feel about each other. So here we are. I don't want a lot for Christmas. There is just one thing I need, and no. That's not the one I wanted to do. But we all love Mariah Carey, so we'll go with that. But I do think this one actually encapsulates a lot of how I think you feel about each other. If I were falling, then you would catch me. You need a light match. 'Cause I love the way you say good morning, and you take me the way I am. If you are chilly, here, take my sweater. If your head is aching, I'm sorry, I'll make it better. 'Cause I love the way you call me baby, and you take me the way I am. This next one's for James. I'll buy you Rogaine when you start losing all your hair. So on patches to all your tears. 'Cause I love you more than I could ever promise. And you take me the way I am. And you take me the way I am.
Hello. Kelsey and I would each like to say a few words separately. Or together. I fear that this is going to pale in comparison to what we've already seen, because all of you guys that have gone before me have been absolutely incredible. But I just would like to say to all of you that are here tonight, how nice it is to be gathered here. Some of you I haven't seen in far too long. That's you. But this is certainly a momentous occasion, and I feel honored to be invited to be a part of it. Maeve and James, it's been amazing to watch the way you guys have grown. Your love has grown over the past 5, 6, I don't know, somewhere in there. I'm not sure either. Somewhere in there. It's been clear from the start that what you guys have together is something special, and it's been great to be a witness to it. James, I've been lucky enough to consider you one of my best friends since middle school. You may not believe this, but I've always looked up to you. It's true. You're incredibly kind, generous, and loyal, and you have an extremely strong moral compass. It doesn't seem to work as well when it's within the boundaries of Argentina. But those are not my stories to tell. Maeve, you match all of these qualities and more. You make James happier than anyone I've ever seen before. It's been great to watch you guys, and you set the bar pretty high for your relationship. To Connie and Steve and David and Jeannie, I know putting together this weekend has been a lot of work, and I think I speak for all of us here when I say I appreciate it a lot. I'm very excited to start the next chapter of your life together.
Alright, so first of all, I'd like to say that I just spent, about an hour ago, 5-minute conversation of everyone saying a really bad idea to not go up with a piece of paper with your speech written out. So, here I go. So this all started when we moved from Canada about, I don't know when it was, 1999, 2000, whenever it was. And Maeve and I, we went to different elementary schools, but we tried out for the soccer team together. And so she was one of the only people I knew in Chappaqua. And since everyone from Chappaqua, usually goes to camp in the summer, we ended up at Birchwood, and I didn't know anyone. And Maeve fondly remembers this memory of her sun tanning on her towel on the walkway like she usually does. And I just pop up and go, "Hi, I'm Kelsey!" And from then, we've been best friends ever since, and that was when we were 9 years old. And then fast forward, 10, 12 years, and Maeve and James met each other. They went to their formal together, as freely discussed. And I just remember we were about to go abroad, and Maeve, we were sitting in my living room with some of our other friends, and Maeve was like, I really like him. I think this could go, so many positive directions, but we've only known each other for like a couple weeks. Is this a terrible decision? And we encouraged Maeve. We were like, if you feel what you feel, you've got to go for it. And it was the best decision we'd ever made. And since then, Maeve and James have been in love, and we have been, it's been so great to see their love grow over the last 5-6 years, and we're all so happy for them, and I can't believe the day is finally here. So congrats